Good existence, cosmopolitans, citizens of the universe. Welcome back to the actual community-supported apothecary, or JD's apothecary, where I expound on my apotheosis. And you get into nature and you start seeing things, and they just remind you of things, and you gotta wonder, like, really, where is the connection? But recently I've been talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people do not share the perspectives that we share. And a lot of people, it's as a studying chemist and in the world of material science, it is few and far in between to find somebody who is holistically oriented and or even interested in philosophy or theology or really alchemy, which is strange because you should want to know your origins, but that's just Nicholas, JD. So I was out here thinking, and something struck me, and I thought, why bother wasting talking to myself when I can just spread and share the knowledge between all you beautiful digital internet people who I'll never see. So, right, this thing sort of serves as an open diary so that I can just put my thoughts out there, because maybe it's because I'm a Gemini. That's what everybody seems to say. Got a lot of thoughts in my head. God dang, I gotta get them out. Sorry. Excuse my taking the Lord's name in vain. Just kidding. That, first things first, mysticism is the oldest spiritual practices known to man, right? Christianity, Judaism, Islam, these are these new watered down things. Lost a lot of substance. Even Hinduism, I mean, that's an old religion, but those guys over there in what's now known as Mali or Nubia, Ethiopia, right? The real cradles of civilization. Well, I mean, the cradle of civilization for the quote unquote new world, of the new world order, right? Where am I going with this? I'm so lost in the woods right now, so if my mind and words also sort of reflect that, please just bear with me, and I promise you I'll bring this around in the greatest connection of dots you've ever witnessed in your life, because that's just what I do. So, right, mysticism is an ancient practice that gets its tenets, and it's not a defined thing. You can't say these people are mystics and these are not because they ascribe to certain titles, because in another language, mystic there's another word for the word mystic. We don't call them mystics, they call them shamans. They call them gurus, shwerties, right? People, basically elders, who have been experienced in the invisible world for quite some time, and so they see things that you can't normally see. And they give you that big perspective that gets you out of the trees and back into the forest. And these mystics, right, their practices, you can't define any single one of them, but you analyze the practice, and there's many different means of practice, right? Many, many, many means. Like old Morpheus, there are more ways than one to come into knowledge of the matrix. Essentially, what they are looking at, essentially what these mystics are looking at is, sorry, I am a mystic and I'm looking at this map and I can't figure it out. Okay, I'm going, both of those are the same. Very confusing. Okay, I see what's happening. I don't see what's happening. I'm gonna go this way. So what we have, the origins and the nature of the mystical tradition is this. It is just the practice, one of the many, many practices, because there are physical practices, there's mental practices, there's all sorts of practices. The main practice that you'll find undoubtedly, and you'll find sort of phased out of the traditions nowadays, because mysticism is at the root of every single religious and spiritual tradition. And what you'll find is that it is the pronunciation and the sequencing of the multitudinous names of God to induce a with the intent and the aim and the belief that through repeating these names of God, these holy names of God that have been with our civilization since the beginning, nobody knows where they came from, nobody knows where language comes from. Yes, the mystics, what is spirit? And they tell you it's in language, it's in symbol, okay, it's in number. And you say, okay, well, there's lots of symbols. Language is everything. What part of the language? So language, you see, is a map. It's a map to the internal and the external world, the true objective aspect of the subjective part of existence, meaning inside your consciousness, everything is mind. It's all subjective, but there is an objective foundation known as self-consciousness to everybody, everything. And getting in touch with that objective aspect of your subjective nature is what people call coming back to know yourself, because it is the singularity within us that connects everything, and it's a singularity within you that connects everything, that allows you to be everything. And so, when you sequence these words, right, what are the words? Yad he vad he, ehi ehe, Adonai agela, Sophia Shekinah el, oh my Ioda. It goes on and on and on with these names, the 72 holy names of God, right? And there's these sigils and these glyphs out there that are all designed to show you exactly how to derive them, so you can sequence them in the right way. That is a sort of a syncretism of time and sound and color and symbol all into one. Like I said, a map of the universe, everything, nature, plants, planets, archetypes of consciousness. And so, I can't switch the camera around, but this is where I'm going. And so, when the mystics are able to sequence these names in the correct order, Eloah, El Adonai, El Elyon, El Shaddai, endless names. You sequence them in the right order, you say them. You don't just say them, you vibrate them. You hold them in your mind. You picture them, you visualize them. And you mantra it, sort of like any other mantra. You don't just say it like plain old English, because this ain't English. This is something all-encompassing. It's something different. Right? And they tell you nowadays, like, you're not allowed to say the name of God, right? What I said earlier, use the name of the Lord in vain. That's a lie. That's a control mechanism. That's unjust and entropy increasing. They're trying. You see, this is the heart of the whole thing. Is people are always trying to tell me is that there's not a conspiracy somewhere. There is no grand conspiracy. That there's nothing going on. That the world is as it's presented to you by the forces in the world. And God love it That could not be further from the truth. Woo! Finally, I see my spot seat. Oh, that's not a seat. Oh well. So I finally got out here where there's no sounds of cars and there's no civilization. I'm gonna use this moment to do some good stuff. But first I need to tell you, there is absolutely something going on. Something way beyond what most of us are capable of grasping. But the fact of the matter is you got to look at yourself and you got to look at all this and be able to admit, yep, something came from nothing. We exist instead of nothing somehow. And that's you. That's you exist. Everything exists. The world, you're an observer and you're independent of it almost. I mean, the illusion of independence. But you can fashion and fabricate and manipulate and name things. Okay? And this naming scheme, I'm not that far away from the roads. I have to work on my destinations. But you see, let me sit down. There is absolutely something going on, because you have to come to terms, you really do have to come to terms with your existence and recognize that something put you here. You didn't put you here, and you didn't make any of this. The grass and the trees and the sun and the air and the systems that keep everything alive. You didn't make any of this. You can't take credit for creating reality, manifesting existence. You chose to come here. That's a manifestation, but you didn't create the atoms. You didn't create the laws, and you don't maintain them. So you see, there's something going on. And that's just, what I'm here for. I'm here to point out what is going on and let y'all know. Because once we all know what's going on, we're back in the forest where we're supposed to be. We're not lost anymore, you understand? So I don't know if that made any sense, but for sure, that is, that's why we're here, and that's what you need to know. Because the story, the world, it's bigger. It's bigger than you and I could ever imagine. And so, these mystics, they just sequence the name of God over and over. And it induces a transpersonal experience. I hope it isn't too windy out here for you. But it induces a transpersonal experience. Meaning, your awareness moves beyond the identity of your body. It moves beyond the senses of your body to interpret extrasensorial information. And this just means, it's not something you can put into words, really. It's something you have to experience. And that is ultimately the intentions and the aims of mysticism, is to develop the intimately personalized connection between the individual and the divine force that put everything here together. Now you ask yourself, why isn't this knowledge, why, if I can be everything and experience everything, why isn't anybody telling us? Where's it coming from? Where's this knowledge coming from? The knowledge came here, right? You go back and you look at the texts. Hundreds, probably thousands of people have actually climbed Jacob's ladder, as they would say, and ejected out of the matrix. And so, but the masses, those people are independent, sovereign elders who don't talk a lot, and they don't really hang out in society. So people are going to ask, like, if there was a big conspiracy, if there was something that we couldn't know, then it's not for us to know. Or not that it's not for us, but we would never know. So how do you know? You have to go within yourself. You have to move directly within your own mind. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You just have to experience the truth and understand, really, that you have the capacity to create infinitely. And that is a divine capacity in and of itself. I mean, originality versus emulations. It's a bit of a debate there, but you have the ability to choose not to move with yourself, and you have the ability to choose to move with others, right? You can vote, or you don't have to vote, right? You can get your vaccines, but you don't have to get your vaccines. You can follow any religion you want. You don't even have to follow a religion. You can do anything you want. This is like, some sort of virtual reality, Grand Theft Auto type of MMORPG, or whatever they say, an open world game system. And just like in the game, your player, your conscious mind, who's operating people in the video games, they're not in the game. They're outside of the game, holding on to a controller. And they're doing other things, like they've got a whole other life, and this is just a game. So the world is bigger, really, than we know. It's bigger than we can conceive, and it's so large, in fact, that, well, I was just going to say that it can appear tiny and infinitesimal. They really drill that into us. You're a monkey who fucked another monkey who had a baby retard monkey, and that baby had sex with another retard baby, genetically mutated monkey, and they survived better than the non-mutated monkeys, and that happened for many generations, and ultimately you got these hominids that come out of this thing, and language somehow, and then like I said, I lose it sometimes. You have the language and the monkeys and the science, and then there's like, you're floating on a freaking speck of dust, floating in an infinitely empty universe. Buddy, you're alone, you're nothing, you're an accident. Nothing put you here, right? You see, nothing created this. This is all just a bunch of haphazard molecular combinations coincidentally forming to create this excellent exposition on the apotheosis. You see, they'll tell you in chemistry that human beings are just a bunch of a massive walking redox reaction, because the only thing that's happening chemically is the addition and the removal of electrons to create different chemical structures, which create different geometries, which create the human being, which is the human being. And so you see, there's something fucking going on. There is something going on. And you have to have faith in yourself and the fact that you know that. You have to have faith in yourself for the fact that you cannot be swayed otherwise. You cannot be convinced by something outside of you, because you know that what is inside of you is greater than anything that is outside of you. And that truth, that objective aspect of your subjective mind will carry you into infinity wherever you want to go. You understand? Your will, your mind, your choice to see beyond into the realm that the mystics see in, beyond the sensorial interpretations, because once we start knowing what the fuck is going on and how humanity and brains and consciousness and life works, we can start giving that to people in school. Say, hey, this is how your brain works, actually, like big picture, not chemical stuff. This is the nature of how you want to live, and this is the nature of more so you specifically, your delineation or your unique separation between your own self and the perfect self, right? Now, it's not necessarily a perfect self, but there is perfect love. You will always have to be working on yourself, but you can achieve a state of perfect love and maintain there, and that's not the end of it, right? That's just good for you. You figured out yourself. Now you understand that you are not yourself. You are everything. That you exist in people's minds, and you exist in nature. You exist beyond your body as an integral part of the environment. You're not separate, okay? So you're not an artificial construction. You don't come from civilization. You come from God. You're in this world. You're not of it. And you cannot ever let anybody tell you that you come from it. So it's a lie. Okay, that is that's really all I have for you right now. I hope I got my message across. You know, there's something going on, and it is up to you. It is up to you to figure it out and turn the tides of this insanity around. I mean, it's beautiful out here, don't get me wrong. Lake Superior in the background, but people are dying every day for no reason. And that's the thing. That doesn't just hurt people who are dying. We're all connected. You think you're just having a bad day because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed? No. There's apartheids and there's murders taking place, like probably by the minute, hourly, for sure, on your tax dollars. And so a portion of your day that you work, and they give you this money, and they take their share out of it, and they use that to kill people, but you helped generate that money. And so you're connected just by the fact that you're connected. You had to be a part of that to get that there, but you don't see it, right? And you don't join the military, you don't murder, you don't join the operatives and however, the assassins, the special forces and what have you. So you don't see that, you don't know that goes on, right? Like they say, the wars nowadays are all over the horizon, beyond the sight of the normal man, being fought by people who have just flying their video game unmanned aerial vehicles around, bombing people like there's no tomorrow. That shit hurts. That hurts all of us all the time. And so you got to wake up. You got to do the right thing. And when I say wake up, it is contradictory, because wake up means develop continuity of consciousness, which means basically go to sleep but stay conscious. So when you wake up, let me know when you want to wake up. We'll do it together. And I'll see you on the other side. And then we can really change some shit. We can really turn not only our lives around, but the loved ones, our children. Those are really the most important things that hit home for everybody, really. People don't want to see Earth as one big happy family, so just look at your family and accept, okay? Nobody knows where they are before they were born, and nobody knows where they're going after they're dead. get into the mindset of figuring out where you were and where you're going, because you can figure it out. And once you figure out how to figure it out, we're all gonna be in a better place. I'm in a better place. We figured out how to figure it out. They did. The knowledge has been here. It's like people are all waiting for the ascension or the rising, or they're waiting on their saviors, for somebody that's not going to be themselves to come and show them the way out of this madness. And that is a delusion. That comes from brainwashing. That comes from these religions. That comes from this language. That comes from being indoctrinated into a system that says, hey, materialism, right? What is materialism? Life, it says life comes out of. Materialism says life comes out of atoms, but it's not true. Life is filtered through atoms, you understand? You understand? Life is filtered through atoms, which means it is a distinctly separate force from atoms, from chemicals. And I am so lost right now. So, you see, we need to redefine life. We need to redefine self. We need to redefine God. We need to actually work, spend time with ourselves, in ourselves. Because if you don't see and experience the truth for yourself, you're never ever going to believe it. I'm not trying to make you believe anything. I'm just trying to get you to do an experiment that will lead you to see that the mind is far more powerful than you've allowed, that your mind is far more powerful than you've allowed yourself to believe, that you are more powerful, that actually, yeah, I'm not bullshitting. The source of energy, the source and the origin of life itself, and of the source of knowledge is within you. It's within your capacity to choose to be judgmental or non-judgmental, to accept or don't accept. It's within your capacity to love or anything else, or not love, right? So you have to make the right choices. You have to express the right will. You have to focus your attention and your concentration, maybe say a couple words that help focus your mind, and tap in to that source of knowledge. Tap into that source of creation, imagination, originality. And once you tap into all that, that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Tap into it, and I'll stop talking. You'll stop hearing me. But that's the truth. There's some shit going down, and you better wise up real quick, because this world is crumbling through our fingertips. It's burning alive. It's poisoning the air. The lawless ones, the mindless ones, the legion, they say, just the people who have never heard or do not want to know about the source. Because what I'm giving you right now, I call it the knowledge of the ages, man. It's if you grok it fully, take it into yourself, you are going to be a changed person. If you take it in, it's like you're the master of time at that point, because time is an illusion. You, like I say, once you figure out how to figure out, and you experience the eternality of your essence, and you come to accept that, yeah, I'm an immortal being. I have no death. I have a big closet of forms, and I have a big system of dawning these forms that allow me to dress in some extravagant dress. You know, as you unlock them throughout the game. It changed me, and people don't want to hear it, you know? People don't want to talk about the knowledge of the ages because it makes them uncomfortable, because it shows that they have been lied to. But you try to talk to somebody about God right now, it's just as difficult or equally difficult as talking about politics, family affairs, coronavirus. You see, people don't want to talk about it. So that's why I'm here on the internet, gathering up, you know, trying to set the vibe, find the tribe, and we can do this right. Because that's the true revolution. There is a revolution occurring right now. It has nothing to do with what they put on TV. Like they say, the revolution will not be televised. Damn it. The revolution will be realized. Okay? It's in progress. It's happening. Full swing. You gotta join the side of... Join... I mean, there is no side in this thing. It's all or nothing. So, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're still here, you know, fucking love you so much. If you're still here, say what's up, leave a comment, connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and this is obviously going on YouTube. JD's Apothecary, CSA Spagyria. You can search that name on all platforms and you'll find it. You can hear me talk more. Oh, no, wait, sorry. This is going on my Truth Observatory channel, which is just like a diary of thoughts and things. And making sure I'm not sane, you know, or I'm making sure I am sane. And so yeah, but if you want to find more stuff, you can also go on to the Apothecary, JD's Apothecary, CSA Spagyria, Practical Herbal Alchemy. Right, so beautiful, beautiful river, beautiful, beautiful. That's okay, I'm really gonna let you go now. All right, have a beautiful existence. Remember, Silentium Universi, you are the great, you are the fourth. That's something I have to talk about. Next video, you are the fourth, Silentium Universi, the great silence, making contact. All right, have a good one.